Hi, Amber.
Hi, Megan.
Welcome to Bad Movies Rock.
Thank you, Megan. Megan, welcome to Bad Movies Rock. We find ourselves once again in the month of October, and this fucking time, we actually remembered what that could mean from an entertainment standpoint.
Yeah. I mean, I remembered earlier in the month, and then I neglected to, tell you or remember later or to do anything about it. But then you remembered and you actually said something about it. And then we are recording a movie about a movie that's a horror movie, kind of.
In a way, you gave me a gift. You let me feel like I was the one who thought of it first.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Megan. And it didn't help, that we took the first week of the month off.
It did not. No.
Made it harder to kind of get into that. So we apologize. There are going to be fewer horror movies, but we've got a fun list to carry up on. And you know what? Maybe we'll eke out into November, because what is more terrifying, honestly, than Thanksgiving and Christmas, if you really think about it existentially and historically speaking?
Yeah. True.
Terrible
Very
things.
true.
Terrible things.
Mm-hmm.
So, Megan.
Yes, Amber.
Let's dive right in. What did I subject you to this week?
Yeah, you subjected me to the 2005 Cursed.
I'm going to let you get away with that one because I'm sure there might be other things they might confuse it with.
Yeah, and there's also a TV show Cursed and a thing.
But maybe the TV show Cursed is always also in 2005. Megan?
I think it's more recent than that.
I'm just saying.
In my Googling.
But you didn't know for sure.
In my Googles.
You done Googled it.
I did.
And I have to trust that.
Internet has never led anybody astray ever, so there you go.
It is full of facts and nothing else. Mm-hmm. And love. I think it's facts and love.
Yeah, warm hugs and just intelligence, and nary a lie can be found.
The good feels and true information as far as the eye can see.
Mm-hmm.
And porn. But what is truer than porn?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, Megan,
Amber,
would you like to play our new game?
I would love to play our new game. Let's do it.
Excellent. All right. 3 movie synopsis blurbs.
Mm-hmm.
1 from IMDb, 1 from Metacritic, and 1 from Amazon Prime.
Lovely.
Feel free to guess which is which.
Okay.
They're not that interesting this time, so, it might be a little harder. Or maybe you'll do, I don't know. I can't predict these things. That's what makes this game so exciting for me.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. From the team that brought you the Scream trilogy, this teen horror film focuses on 3 people who are brought together to battle a werewolf.
Okay. I am going to wait and hear them all before I give my thingies. I think that's the smart thing to do.
That's fair.
I think that's Amazon, but go ahead.
Also, who are the 3 people?
I know just 3 people.
Who's the third? Okay, yeah. Moving on. We have
good question. That hadn't even occurred to me. There's no... Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The writer and director of Scream re-team to take another playful trip to the dark side. After a brutal attack by a terrifying creature, a brother and sister exhibit behavior that leads them to believe they've been cursed by the bite of a werewolf.
Okay. That seems very factual. Okay.
It does. This is going to be a confusing one.
Seems pretty good.
This round is I feel like this round is going to mess with our metrics.
Yeah, okay.
Third and final.
Mm-hmm.
A werewolf loose in Los Angeles changes the lives of 3 young adults who, after being mauled by the beast, learn they must kill it in order to avoid becoming werewolves themselves.
Oh.
Again with the 3. This seems
Are they
also
putting
wrong.
Jake in there? Are they... No, that wouldn't be right.
That's the only person I can think of.
Yeah.
Unless they're... And they're also not teens. Only one of them is?
Right.
Oh, they do say young adults in this one. This one does say young adults.
Oh, it does, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So we had really short Scream trilogy teen horror, 3 people battle a werewolf. We had writer and director of Scream, playful at dark side, cursed by the bite of a werewolf.
Yep.
And then we, loose in Los Angeles, 3 adults battle it, gotta kill the dude or become werewolves themselves.
Why 3? I'm going to go Amazon, Rotten Tomatoes, was that one of them?
Metacritic, but yeah.
Metacritic, that's what I meant, and IMDb.
Okay. this isn't your fault because Metacritic Amazon so hard.
Yeah, that's surprising.
It isn't your fault. They switcherooed us, and that's not on you. But you were absolutely correct about IMDb was the last one. Then you just it was Metacritic first, then Amazon, then IMDb.
Yeah, it's not like Amazon to get things right, so I was completely thrown off.
Amazon might have been the most accurate one. They didn't say it was 3 people. They talked about a brother and a sister being cursed by a werewolf.
Yeah.
What? Who wrote this one? Did somebody sneak into Amazon to write this one specifically? They probably must have fired them.
Whoever they were.
They actually got fired for this. This was the first one they ever wrote.
What the fuck is this shit?
Yeah. And people were like, what is this? People will know what the movie's. What are you doing? Get out.
Philip, get in here.
Do you know what we do here?
Not this, Philip.
Not this.
Philip.
Philip. Your uncle is going to be so disappointed in you. Nepotism has failed us here today.
Yeah. You mean his uncle... Jeremy Amazon?
Okay. Yes.
Philip Amazon?
Jeremy Rainforest.
Yeah.
Let's get even weirder with it.
Okay. Perfect.
Uncle Jeremy Rainforest got me this job and, let him down on the first day.
Yep.
Did you know, according to Amazon, this title is outlandish, thrilling, and frightening?
They call it a body horror film on...
Oh, jeez. It's not.
On a... wiki, and it's not.
It's PG-13. By definition, that can't be body horror.
So this movie went through, I don't know how much you learned about this, Amber, but this movie went through like retools and like refilming and rewrites, and they dropped like 6 people who had already filmed pieces of it and then dropped them, deleted them entirely and brought in new people. Yeah, it's making this movie apparently was cursed in of itself.
It was a mess. Yeah, There were different leads. The script was completely different. The original script is actually out there. You could read it.
Yes. Yep.
And
then the original script, I believe, did have 3.
Yes, because
kind of.
So not only were the 2 main characters not siblings, but there was no Joshua Jackson's Jake.
Right.
Instead, I believe it was Skeet Ulrich.
Yes, it was Skeet Ulrich, yes.
Was some sort of millionaire's son, and Christina Ricci and he were dating, and I think they were fighting the role. It's almost like these reviews were written by people who read the script and didn't watch the movie.
Which is kind of the opposite of what you do, like in high school. Oh no, I read it instead of watched it. Oh no, I'm getting things wrong.
Oh man, I got a whoop-de-wood.
Yeah.
Now everybody's gonna know.
Yep, absolutely.
So,
and it used to be R, and then it was reduced to a PG-13. So.
Yes, a horror movie by Wes Craven was reduced to PG-13 after it took 5 years to make.
Yeah,
and a lot of things were scrapped, and they had Rick Baker, Megan.
I know, this is very upsetting to me.
They had Rick Baker.
They did practical effects with Rick Baker's team. And then some other CGI team came in and scrapped almost everything that Baker did and made it the exemplary CGI film you see before you.
Yes, and then the wolf that isn't the CGI wolf is likened to a fuzzy teddy bear by some of the critics. They're not wrong.
No, they're not wrong.
It does look like a grumpy teddy. It actually kind of looks like a stuffed animal that I got from... what was that toy store that used to exist in like strip malls and malls in general? Like KB Toys or... It was KB Toys. It had a little toy soldier at the front. I don't know if it still exists. It's not something I need to know, so don't holler at me about it. I don't care one way or another. But, sometimes I had some gems. So where I got a Sally doll from Nightmare Before Christmas that has like Velcro arms and legs and the head pops off and on. Oh, of course. It's one of my prized possessions.
Yeah. You still have it?
Oh, of course. Megan, I keep all things.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful, Amber.
Objects, friends, vengeance.
Yeah.
The wrongs I am done.
Yep.
Any hoozles, do you want to describe this wonderful, luxurious tale?
I actually, I don't think I need to.
Okay, fair enough.
I think they did it. I don't have any. I mean, Amazon surprisingly did it.
Weirdly, Amazon may have pulled it out. I guess the one thing we can add is the cast. Star-studded, my friends.
It is, right? We've got Christina Ricci plays Ellie. Jesse Eisenberg plays her brother Jimmy. Josh Jackson plays Jake.
Josh Jackson.
Josh Jackson plays Jake.
Josh Jorgensen.
Got Judy Greer as Joni, who's a co-worker of Christina Ricci. Who else, Amber?
Milo Ventimiglia as Bo, our favorite character.
Mm-hmm.
Which shouldn't be a thing, but it is.
True. Like if you watch the first half of this movie, you'd be like, "What? What?"
Shannon Elizabeth as Becky for about 5 seconds. We have Portia de Rossi also for 5 seconds as Zella the fortune teller.
Yes.
And let's not forget Nick Offerman, 5 seconds as an officer.
Oh, fuck, that's right. I forgot about that.
And Scott Baio is Scott Baio.
Oh, yeah. And Maya comes in for Jenny for just a little bit.
Let's not forget Maya as Jenny. And Michelle Krusiek as nosebleed coworker.
Oh, poor Michelle. Listed as, oh man.
Didn't even get a character name. Just it's that coworker of Christina Ricci's who, bled out of her nose in a bathroom. Oh, yeah, I know the one.
Yeah. Michelle.
Whatevers. So, yes, this is a lovely film in which a brother and sister who clearly have some sort of tragic past with their parents. They're dead, probably in a car crash.
Yeah, that's kind of implied, yeah.
Kind of implied. She looks at a picture at one point, and then they talk about how after getting into a car crash, it might bring up memories of mom and dad. So we're assuming, car crash, death, symmetry. She's dating Joshua Jackson, who seems to be rich. Mm-hmm. And opening a club? Or a restaurant?
Or a movie experience?
Wax museum?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's and so much fellow movie watchers of this plot gets slightly confused because it was so many things at one time. Like apparently there was a whole storyline about the parents before there was a wax museum in this before and then they used some of the same stuff, and so like the ideas can be kind of like, why are there all these movie props and like wax sculptures of people in this opening that Josh Jackson is doing for a restaurant?
That's called Tinsel.
It's called Tinsel. Yeah,
it's definitely called Tinsel. And like two of the letters kind of descend to make fangs at the bottom.
Right.
Which thematically doesn't really make sense. I guess that was just for him as a secret werewolf. Oh no! Spoiler alert. And yeah, it's gothic horror stuff from movies. And then also just Cher and stuff. And like Kevin Sorbo and Xena Warrior
singers.
Princess.
Yeah.
So it's, and like there's a mirror, like funhouse mirror room. So it's sort of horror gothic, but also just normal wax museum. And maybe, I don't know, but it's his and it's opening. And Christina Ricci works for Craig Kilborn's late night show. And Judy Greer is Scott Baio's manager. And they're trying to get him on the Craig Kilborn show, and he's in it. In the original script, Scott Baio was in it, but he was a werewolf.
Yeah.
Now he's just Scott Baio, and he's just there.
Yeah.
He's just there in the movie. And Portia de Rossi's character shows up as a fortune teller in the first one, tells two girls they're probably going to die, probably by werewolf. Mm-hmm. Then shows up to tell Christina Ricci, you're a werewolf. And then there should be a third. Because that's how these things work. Portia de Rossi is supposed to show up and sort of, be the burnt out vamp hunter from Fright Night, show up and maybe help with the werewolf. Portia de Rossi just disappears.
She's just gone, which is disappointing because it's Portia de Rossi. You just want to see more of her.
Amber does not disagree. It is a weird little disjointed film for all of the obvious reasons, but Megan, there are some moments. There's some things. There's some special...
There is one thing that happens in this movie that makes it entirely worth it.
I would say two things. Well, one thing that definitely happens, one thing that sort of happens, but then one thing that we've decided happens.
Yes, exactly.
We will get to those things because of Milo Venmiglia's bow. Megan.
Yes. Amber.
How do the critics feel about this movie?
They hated it. They fucking hated it so bad.
They seem to be furious at it.
The critics for Rotten Tomatoes have it at 16. That's a 1 and a 6%. And the audience scores at 30.
All right. Metacritic wasn't quite that bad. 31 for critics. 87?
Okay.
For 87 for users.
Interesting.
I don't understand that one.
That's too high unless you're rating those two particular scenes individually.
Maybe it was all they had room in their hearts for and they didn't need anything else. Like, oh, that filled me right up. A lot of these reviews are just symbols.
Okay.
87. Critics. Mostly really negative.
Yeah, the critics hated it. They like to compare it to Scream. They like to say go see Ginger Snaps instead. They made fun of the terrible, terrible CGI. The
story, the script.
The story.
No one really went after the acting in the blurbs.
The acting was all pretty solid.
It really was.
As this stuff goes.
Yep, I would agree with that.
Pretty good.
But yeah, all of it was pretty fair. And you have to compare it to Scream because they were labeling it as the successor to Scream.
Yeah. Yep.
They brought this on themselves. And Wes Craven's here, so they're going to compare it to Freddy. And yeah, I have to call out one review in particular because fuck this guy. James Berardinelli of Real Reviews. This gem of a blurb. There's a kernel of a good story buried somewhere deep and cursed. It never pops. As werewolf movies go, this one is on par with An American Werewolf in Paris. But at least in that dud, had plenty of gore and Julie Delpy's bare breasts to recommend it.
Okay. There's no...
At least we got titties in that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Wow.
Cool guy.
Great. You do get a bare butt in this one.
Oh yeah, we get to see Jesse Eisenberg's or his stunt double's bare butt.
Stunt double, so I read, but yes.
I do love to see white dudes' pale butts. It's
the thing about it is that's the only nudity we saw, and whenever you see like
attractive young women in a slasher movie, you're like, well, I'm going to see blood all over their boobs.
Yeah, exactly. And we at least avoided that.
There's even 2 female werewolves, so you could have had the excuse of, oh, they busted through their clothes.
Yep, nope.
There are some confusing choices they make in this movie. And I have to assume it's because the Dawson's Creek writer was the script writer, and so there's so much like teen drama and angst and some like moments of actually kind of good dialogue mixed in with some strange rote cliched nonsense. And then there's almost kind of a cool narrative from a women perspective in terms of like. So we're gonna get out of the critics' corner now because the critics hated it. Yeah. It wasn't a good movie. It was kind of a mess. We're not going to argue this is a good movie, but we are going to argue that we watched it, we enjoyed parts of it, and gosh darn it, we're going to talk about it. So I feel like with werewolf movies, especially werewolf movies with women in them, there's that Little Red Riding Hood energy.
Yes.
And you have the sense of kind of predatory men either hunting or infecting you. And sort of that level of horror, both on like psychological and a physical level. And so there's a little bit of a play on that.
Right.
And then they almost do something clever.
Yes.
By flipping that script.
Right.
And having the werewolf be dun 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 a woman. And you're like, oh shit, that's fucking cool. Oh, she's doing it all because she's a woman scorned. Oh,
yeah, it's all
fuck.
It all becomes because she wants Josh Jackson and nobody else. If she can't have him, no one can. So she's going to kill all the competition.
And that was what the entire movie was about. Because the entire thing is this werewolf seems to be, stalking Los Angeles, and it's killing beautiful women, young, beautiful women, and stalking them and murdering them and eating them. You see, one woman dragged from a car and murdered. You see her friend stalked in a parking lot and murdered. Both of them were interested in Joshua Jackson's character, so you start to think, oh, it's Joshua Jackson fucking doing this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, Christina Ricci's Ellie and Jesse Eisenberg's Jimmy get accidentally scratched when Brooke Shannon's Elizabeth gets pulled from the car and murdered. And that's how their transformation starts. And so you're like, okay, predatory man. Like, he's hunting these women that he's dated before and eating them. And he, you know, accidentally infected the woman he's dating with this curse. And so it's standard rote tropes and you know, predatory man, and, you know, you got to take him down. But oh, wait, it's not him. It's this other woman who he also had sex with, and it was aggressive sex, and she got accidentally infected. So again, you're kind of thinking, oh, okay, like, and he was a hit it and quit it kind of guy. Mm-hmm. So it was like a one-night stand situation, and she gets saddled with this horrible curse. And so you'd also maybe think that she's trying to get revenge on him for being so careless with this disease that he has that's completely affected her life and just turned her into something she didn't intend to be, and she can't control it. Mm-hmm. But instead, once she does her bad guy speech, she's like, if I can't have him, no, well, she literally says, if I can't have him, well, you know the rest. Mm-hmm. And then is brought down by the fact that Christina Ricci says she has fat thighs and bad skin.
And a bony ass.
And a bony ass.
Yeah.
So she winds up exposing herself to cops to scream out liar. And then gets shot to death. It's, boy, do you know what a woman is? Do you know what woman? Do you know how women do?
So we're, you know, she's been a werewolf for a while now. It's unclear a little bit, but she's able to survive as a werewolf all throughout this time until she gets called you know, a fat thighs and bony ass, and then she just has to come and just get shot by 4,500 bullets.
Cops that she knows are there. She knows she's being taunted out, and she still has to reveal herself and scream liar.
Yeah.
Because she said she had bad skin.
Yeah.
It's demoralizing.
It's demoralizing. Oddly enough, in this moment, there's also probably one of the best moments of the entire film for me.
Cannot disagree with you.
Yeah. So this all happens while, you know, she's, this is Judy Greer. She's a werewolf. She's up above. She's been called out by Christina Ricci. And while she shouts liar, she also gives Christina Ricci, she flips her the bird, Amber. There's a werewolf.
She flips her the old animatronic werewolf bird, and it is the best thing I think I may have ever seen.
It's ridiculous. It's what?
Just this goofy ass looking wolf. This is not a Rick Baker wolf.
Looking.
It's fuzzy. It's rubbery. It doesn't move smoothly. The eyes are clearly just like little glass inserts. Like,
yep.
You know how Goro's eyes, Megan?
Yes.
The pupils could expand and contract, and he could eat. It's somehow worse than Goro.
Yeah.
But goddamn it, if they weren't able to make that animatronic wolf flip off Christina Ricci.
It's like, and she you know, screams liar at, like, anytime the wolf speaks, it's like a deep,
liar. Yeah.
Deep voice. The mouth doesn't and lips don't move even a little bit. No. Yeah, I mean, I suspect they spent a lot of money just making that one thing happen.
You had to articulate that finger, and
fucking worth it though.
Absolutely.
That shit was. I think, yeah.
You know what it felt like? It felt like Crypt Keeper. It felt like Demon Knight kind of level goofiness.
Yes.
With horror stuff. Captured that sweet, sweet magical energy. Mm-hmm. So, missed opportunity there. Could have been a kind of a cool story. of, you know, her kind of, maybe she kills Joshua Jackson and fucking ends their curse together. She's like, Ellie, he keeps saying he loves you and that now that you're turning into a werewolf, you can be together and that he can help you control it and that he's really a good guy because he was born like this. And, you know,
right.
He's found a way to live with it. He fucking infected me, didn't even know about it. I've been running around killing people. He had no freaking clue. And he's having sex with all these women. Who knows who all else he could have whoopsie scratched. Like,
right.
She literally says the line, there's no such thing as safe sex with a werewolf. Mm-hmm. Like, it could have been a cool moment of her being like, hey, girl, let's rip his fucking head off. And then we can just get our lives back. Or, I don't know, like embracing being a predator. But, and Joni herself is like high strung, but seems kind of effective and powerful. And also, while Christina Ricci and her brother are fucking freaking out in the transformation, this girl apparently handled it on her own and still manages to manage Scott Baio and interact with people.
Right. Yeah,
I want to see Joni's story right up until the end when I realize she's killing other women because they've had sex with the guy who doesn't want her, but she still wants.
Yeah. I think you just described a fantastic ending to this movie.
So Megan, let's look at the characters themselves. Like, you know, the movie is a mess and it's all over the place, but if we examine it through the lens of the characters, so we've already looked at Joni.
Yep.
Let's look at Ellie. Christina
You mean
Ricci's
let's
character.
look at somebody with a little bit more screen time?
Let's look at somebody with a little bit more screen time. Let's look at Ellie.
Yeah.
Powerful business person.
Yeah. Manages the late show.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Works there.
Does things.
Wears a pantsuit there.
Powerful pantsuit, yes.
Yeah. It's unclear. She's definitely there, though.
She's 100% there. Mm-hmm. She's taking care of her younger brother, the high schooler. And it's intimated to us at the end of the movie that she's doing a bad job of her life and her brother's life. Since her parents died.
Which is what Jake says. And whether that's just there to... It seems like he's just saying that to hurt her and to be an evil ass. Because she seems to be doing just fine. They seem to be, while not like super dealing with their feelings, they are like Jimmy's going to school, she's going to work, they have maintained the house in a way, they seem to eat sometimes.
I'm not really seeing any warning signs. Yeah, she seems good at her job, she's getting along with her coworkers, she's dating a dude who seems somewhat stable-ish. Mm-hmm. Even though he wants his space the 3 days around the full moon? It's unexpectedly.
Well, I don't know why you'd bring that part up, Amber, but yeah, exactly.
Because it seems like a warning sign. You know, they've only been dating for 2 months, and she's like, hey, you know, your place is about to open. You want to hang out after? He's like, I want to sleep for 3 days. I just need some time and space. And yeah, she's like, I'm getting the boot. She gets hurt. But she fucking handles it. She doesn't get like shitty about it. She's like, this making me sad and a little self-like I'm feeling a little bit slighted, but I'm gonna move through my life.
Right.
Like she's a little late picking her brother up from the strip, but that's it. And he's portrayed as kind of a geek. Yep. We'll talk about Jimmy in a minute.
Yes.
So she is a disaster, maybe? Or he's just negging?
I think he's negging hard.
You know, she does almost commit vehicular manslaughter.
Yes,
but
true.
She did get hit by a werewolf.
Yes, true.
And she and her brother went the extra mile to try and get Shannon Elizabeth out of that car.
Yeah, they did.
And when she was grabbed by a horrible monster, they fought for her.
They did. They daisy chained themselves onto Shannon Elizabeth to try to not let the werewolf take her.
Yep. Which
seemed like a very stupid idea and didn't help at all, except got them both werewolfed. But
they fought.
But they fought for her.
Yeah. Then they went home and seemed totally fine with the whole getting into a car crash and seeing someone brutally eaten in front of them.
The only thing that seems to piss Jimmy off is that Ellie doesn't believe that it was a wolf. And she's not saying it's not a wolf. She said that she didn't see it. And Jimmy is getting kind of attacked by the police officers and made fun of because they're like, it wasn't a wolf. There's no wolves in California. It was either a mountain lion or a bear. it's not a wolf.
Yep, she wouldn't back him,
Yeah.
and so he doesn't want to talk about it. He storms up to his room and reads 8 million comics, and then gets on the internet on his old Apple desktop computer and internets out werewolves.
Yeah, it's one of those like blueberry iMac thingies with the color. Yeah, those cool ones.
So, she's trying to do the best she can with what she's got. She slowly makes the transformation, and some weird stuff happens. She smells something really good in her office and then sniffs out a woman's bleeding nose. But she doesn't believe werewolves. Jimmy goes straight to werewolves. She's like,
Yeah.
no. I think, okay, Megan.
Amber?
Scariest part of this not terribly scary movie, for me, was the scene with Ellie.
Okay.
It was just after the wolf attack. She's wearing the sexy, clingy to your curves robe that we all own.
Yep.
Just very, very thin, and it like clings perfectly to your shape.
Yeah, nothing says robe like tight fitting and thin.
Yes.
Yeah, I like my robes to be not comfortable or cozy.
Indeed. We saw her, after she got home with Jimmy, lock the door, put the chain in place, close the window, lock the window. And then she's up. It's the middle of the night. She's clearly scared. Like she heard something. And so she's walking around the house. She checks the door. All the locks are still in place. Goes and checks the window. Oh, it's open. She closes and locks the window. Then she goes to the back door in the kitchen. It's still locked, still closed. Then she turns around and the front door's wide open.
Yeah.
Wide open. Leaves are just blowing inside. It drops my stomach out. Because as a woman who has lived alone, that is fucking terrifying.
It is terrifying. Yeah, absolutely.
That is fucking not okay. That is, I'm not safe. What do I do? If I close the door, I'm probably just shutting myself in with the person that probably came in. But what if they didn't come in? So maybe I could still shut the door. I don't know what to do here.
Yeah.
So Ellie goes and shuts the door and turns around, and Joshua Jackson is inside. Because he got worried about her. And we're thinking, bitch, you secured the chain.
Yeah.
He said the door was open and you just checked it. Oh no, he said he found the key under the mat. That key doesn't move the chain, son.
Nope.
Oh, creepy. But she's still happy to see him. And he's like, I don't want space. I was just saying things. And then she turns into a wolf and bites him. And then she wakes up and the whole thing was a dream sequence. But just that moment
it's creepy.
of turning around and the door's wide open.
It reminds me, Amber. So, I get sleep paralysis, which a lot of people do. But it's where you kind of are having a waking dream, and you kind of are awake, but your body isn't awake yet, so you can't move, but your senses aren't telling the truth. And I had this one where I very much thought someone was knocking at my door at like 3 a.m. Like knocking hard at my door. And I lay there for probably 15 minutes being sure that someone was knocking at that door. I couldn't move, so I couldn't do anything about it. Not that I knew what to do anyway about it.
Knives.
Yeah, same vibes. Just
I always go with knives. It's the one, because I don't keep a gun in the house, so I grab a knife. And that makes me feel like at least it might cost them something to murder me. You know? Like, I don't think I'm going to do anything terribly effective with it. But oh boy, they'll get the business end of that pointy stick before I go down.
Yeah. It was nice because I had dogs with me. I had my brother's dogs with me, and they did not bark or react at all to this thing, which is pretty much the only reason I knew it wasn't true after the fact.
Yes, of course. Once your brain actually let you think about reality again, and you were still left with the naked terror of that 15 minutes.
Yeah, I did not sleep anymore that night.
So yes, that.
Anywho, that kind of thing is very terrifying. It's viscerally terrifying, for sure.
I agree. So, while she's in the midst of these confusing, transformative moments, which are clearly supernatural and werewolf related, but she continues to lie to her brother on so many. Going so far is to be like, okay, well, if we're werewolves, then silver will burn us, right? And it's like, well, I bought this frame and it's from Tiffany's and it's pure sterling silver. See, I'm fine. And she lied to him about. So it was like she knew, but didn't.
Yeah. It was almost like she was trying to make him feel better, but lying while doing so. Yeah. Yep.
And they had actual silver in the house, so she could have done a real test. It's self-delusion, whatever. But she, gets more confident, gets more aggressive. Her life seems to be going a little bit better while also falling apart with the weirdness. Yep. And then, Joshua Jackson is into it more. He's like, I always cut and run at this part, but I really care about you and I really love you. And also I'm a werewolf. But I'm not the one that's killing people and I'm not the one that attacked you. I mean, how are you going to believe that? So of course she stabs him with her keys and runs away.
He was being fucking creepy though.
He was being extremely creepy.
He would not leave her alone. He broke her car window and
sometimes when you're a werewolf, you don't know your own strength. And he didn't want her to run away because he wanted a chance to talk to her about not being a murderer.
Right.
But yes, being a werewolf, because he had the little mark on his hand of 5 dots that form a pentagram.
Yep.
Which is
but
the
only
sign
if you
of
connect them with a marker, Amber.
Only if you marker connect them. But we do, we're pretty sure it's him. We're running from him. And then eventually, Joni Werewolf shows up where he is, knocks the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Just bitch slaps him into unconsciousness twice before the cops take her down.
Right. It's interesting that I wonder if it's like a new werewolf versus old werewolf thing. Like they have this is true in the Twilights. A new vampire has much more strength than an old vampire.
Don't give me information from Twilight. Don't put that evil in my head, Megan.
So, but he gets stomped by her on numerous occasions, which is interesting because he's also supposed to be really powerful. And
because he was born this way. Like he wasn't bitten.
He was Lady Gaga born this way.
Maybe it's like a transformed werewolf versus...
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. And he didn't want to transform because he didn't want to freak Ellie out or...
Because the budget couldn't handle it.
Because the budget couldn't fucking handle it. And he's like, I won't let you kill her. I love her. Which, of course, is going to make Joni kill her because she wants to kill everyone that stands in her way of her romantic love. So, yeah, Ellie survives. She's not the one who takes down Joni. It's a bunch of white dude cops.
Yeah.
Which also makes me sad.
It does, yeah.
And so you think the movie would be over because that's the wolf that bit them.
Yeah. And it continues. Plus, the greatest scene has already happened. A werewolf gave the bird to some people, so pretty great.
But they still have to kill Joshua Jackson because he shows up at their house after fucking piecing out on them when the cops arrive.
Yeah, no, he whatever his motivations, he definitely left them alone with, he wasn't, Christina Ricci went and looked for him. He wasn't there. So he left at some point during that time when he knew that they were being stalked by Joni. So,
yes.
Not great.
Struggling to survive. But they think they're fine when they get home. And the house is wrecked because, of course, their golden retriever has also turned into a werewolf because he bit Jesse Eisenberg because he was afraid of Jesse Eisenberg because Jesse Eisenberg was turning into a werewolf. But then biting him infected him and he turned into a golden retriever werewolf and went on a rampage and fucked up the house. And so they're cleaning it up. But then they start to transform. Oh, no, the curse isn't over. And then Josh Jackson shows up and he's like, cool, we can be together. I'm going to kill your brother.
Yeah.
Because there doesn't need to be 2 dudes.
There can't be 2 alphas. Yeah, it's very strange. Very strange.
So he wants her to stay a werewolf, but he also informs her that if she doesn't want to be one, then she'll have to kill him. So that's helpful.
So it's very useful to know. Yeah.
So we'll leave that beautiful end scene. There's that dark tableau.
Right. And so let's jump back. Yeah. Jump back to Jimmy for a moment. So he's in high school. He's having a bit of a hard time. He has a crush on a girl named Brooke. What's her name?
Christina And a pow.
And a pow. And, you know, she doesn't notice him. He's been in her class for like 3 years, and she hasn't noticed him at all. And then Jimmy gets bullied by Brooke's boyfriend Bo, who's played by Milo. And this is, it starts out really pretty disturbing because there's a lot of just gay slurs thrown at Jimmy, and that's upsetting. I mean, it feels pretty high school, but
it's also awful.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel good. Yeah.
So much rage, so much homophobia, and he's everywhere with his 2 dude posse while also being with Brooke, presumably his girlfriend, who's okay with this. I mean, you can see her face is a little unhappy about it, but then she walks away with him.
Right.
So she's cool with it.
Yeah, she's like, don't listen to him, Jimmy, and then walks away with Bo. It's like, great.
So Brooke is a keeper, but she's hot. So Jimmy wants that.
Right.
Was he trying to reel her in with that dog? Because that felt like a move.
Yes, absolutely. I'm positive. Because like
he let the dog loose intentionally so he could do a meet cute.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. At this point, Amber, let me just inform you a little bit of something I learned from IMDb, which is that Bo says to Jimmy about his golden retriever Zipper, "I think your dog is gay too." And coincidentally, Milo was in the movie The Art of Racing in the Rain as a race car driver who owns a golden retriever named Enzo. This has been your IMDb trivial.
Oh, wow. Oh, so that was the end of it.
That's it, Ember. There's a golden retriever in this
a golden
movie.
retriever and later stars with one.
Yep.
It's okay.
Yep. So, worth writing down in words on IMDb.
That's definitely trivial.
Yeah.
Hoo boy.
Welcome. You're welcome.
Well, Jimmy is, he's got confidence, but he reads comic books. So, and he's doesn't have a big build, doesn't have a big strong build, and the cool guys wrestle, and he doesn't have big strong boy wrestle build.
Yeah.
But as he turns into a werewolf, Megan, he's got a little bit of extra sexual appeal. We're told repeatedly.
He does his hair different.
Oh, bad. He does his hair bad.
It's so spiky.
But not up. It's sort of out in every direction.
Unidirectionally spiky. It's like at you spiky.
Yeah. And he's still going after Brooke.
Yeah.
Ooh. One of the good moments of dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
Just as he's starting to make the transformation, runs into Brooke, talking to Brooke, having fun conversations, and then, Bo comes up with his posse, more F-bombs and homophobia. Yep. And then he snaps back. He snaps back at Bo.
Right.
I believe in the sense of like, is all of this like homophobia coming from a place of maybe that's where you're at?
Mm-hmm.
And Milo Ventimiglia, Bo gets right up in his face. Did you just attempt a confrontation? Jimmy. Yeah, maybe. Let me know when you're sure. And he walks off. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
A couple of pretty good lines. Yeah.
I can see that like Dawson's Creek energy there. There's a lot of Dawson's Creek energy all over the Bo Jimmy confrontations.
Yeah, the high school stuff is all, yep.
They wind up in the gym during wrestling practice. Of course, Brooke and her girlfriends are watching the boys wrestle, and Jimmy comes by, vaults onto the bleachers, werewolf style.
No reason.
To holler at her. Bo notices and is like, "Hey, why don't you put your money where your mouth is?" Because they snipe at each other, gay bashing style again. Mm-hmm. And Jimmy's ready. Jimmy gets on the mat. He figures out wrestling in about 30 seconds.
Yep.
And then like takes him down, but like scary.
Yeah.
In, inhuman, horrifying ways that could break spines.
Yeah, hits a dude with another dude. Holds Bo up like upside down, but straight up in the air upside. Yeah, like. Yeah. Yeah.
And meanwhile, Brooke and her girlfriends are cheering for all of this. Again, like, that's your boyfriend. And also, this may have killed him.
this is terrifying. You should be terrified that Jimmy can do this, that anybody could do this.
Mm-hmm. And then Jimmy's moment right before he drops Bo on the ground in what would be a spine-snapping move says, you know the thing about fairies, they get to fly. So him recapturing this moment is just him becoming homophobic too?
Yeah, I guess so.
Because he's already pegged Bo as homophobic because he himself is hiding his identity.
Right. Which turns out to be true.
Yes, it does.
Which is actually fantastic.
Which is fantastic. I want to focus on Bo now. I mean,
let's go to Bo's
Jimmy
story.
is Bo's story, but Bo's Jimmy's story. But like, essentially, this is their final confrontation before Megan. Before what happens.
Yeah. So Bo comes to Jimmy's house just before Zipper the dog gets werewolfed or turns into a werewolf. Anyway, and they have a confrontation out on the porch where Bo is just like asking Jimmy like how did you know? And then apparently Bo has a crush on Jimmy, and
I mean that werewolf sexual allure.
Yep.
Which is also a fun bit of dialogue.
It's a great line, yeah.
There's how did you know? You know, it's no one else does. I'm hiding. He's like, oh, I'm not gay. You know, I'm cursed. It's like, I know, man, it feels like being cursed, right? Because you can't tell anybody and you're worried they'll find out. It does feel like, no. I'm marked by the beast. Well, I mean, no, I get that it feels like it. You feel so different. He's like, no. Dude, I'm a werewolf. And I can't, I know you have this thing going on right now, but I can't deal with it. I've got some shit going on inside. Like, I can't have this conversation with you. And he's like, and I know you're feeling it right now because I've got that extra allure of the sexual appeal from the werewolfism. And Bo's like, yeah, no, I'm feeling that extra sexual allure. I'm feeling it.
And Jimmy's just like, I know.
I know. So I can't help it, but I can't have this talk with you right now. It's cool. And he like shuts the door, leaves him on the porch. Then the dog spazzes out and they run out together.
And then they've got their meet cute where they are now running away together, driving away.
He has to go find his sister. Bo's got a car. The dog is just out as a werewolf now, so we're gonna
leave that alone.
We're just not gonna think about what happens next.
Murder many things. Yeah,
so many things are gonna die.
Yeah,
but now Jimmy and Bo are together for the end of the movie. Then they go to Tinsel, the club opening, because that's where he thinks his sister's gonna be. But that's where Josh Jackson is, who is also
movie experience,
wax museum. Megan.
Yeah, so they end up with they end up in this place where there's all these like wax things of movie monsters, one of which is a werewolf that we see I don't know, in every other shot.
Oh my.
When we're there, cuz you know, Amber werewolf, get it? Get it?
Cuz it's werewolves.
Get it?
Yeah, I fucking do. Okay, Jesus. It's the showdown is ultimately super boring. There's a party, and then the werewolf goes apeshit and scares everybody, and then it's inexplicably just Jimmy, Bo, Ellie, and Jake, Joshua Jackson's character, and the werewolf.
Right. Yep.
You think Bo dies? He gets rammed.
Yeah, he gets
and I'm
just
very
hit.
sad. I think we were just about a second before he gets knocked out. We were like, oh man, if Bo gets got, no!
I knew it's like, after I'd gotten done saying that, oh man.
Because he was along for the ride. Dude just told him, hey, I'm a werewolf, and then his dog comes busting out like, what? He's there to support him. Oh, we're going to Tinsel? I know where that is. Let's go. Like suddenly, homophobic guy who bully is now just fully on board with whatever's going on, gets that like Jimmy's probably not into it maybe, but just wants to be there to support him.
Yeah, that's kind of great. Yeah, and then the whole thing happens with Judy Greer, with Joni.
Oh, Joni.
Yeah, there was a line just when Ellie finds out that it's Joni, who's the werewolf. She just says Joni,
so disappointed in you.
So disappointed.
You killed all those women. Come on, Joni. Come on. I mean, I expect this from dudes. I expect this from the guy I'd been dating for 2 months. But you, Joni,
you. That's not cool, Joni. Yeah. So I mean, we already kind of talked about the ending where Jake just goes ahead and negs Ellie up and down and says he's going to kill her brother because there can't be two alphas. Yeah, it's the thing is that apparently in the first iteration of the movie, Jake and Ellie are in love, but Ellie agrees to kill Jake to end the curse. And she does it out of love, and he wants her to do it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Isn't that a ton more interesting?
I mean, it doesn't really...
It doesn't fix things,
I mean, it doesn't fix things. It doesn't fix the woman scorned thing or sort of like the predatory dude sleeping with people and infecting them with a curse thing. But
no, just not.
But I guess it's basically the moral of that story would be, but I don't like it when I do that to somebody I actually care about. All those other women were just disposable garbage. Mm-hmm. But you're special, so I'm willing to die for you so you can live a normal life.
Exactly. Plus, it also explains why Ellie was liked Jake, then thought she was being blown off by him, then suspected him as a werewolf.
/ murderer,
then realized he wasn't, but he was still a werewolf. And then all of a sudden he comes in so hard and negs her so bad at the end. He's a completely different person. Yeah, there is nothing of that to her before. No. And so it seemed very out of place. And the reason is because it wasn't supposed to be there.
They wanted romantic monster ending. They wanted, Frankenstein's monster, Curse of the Mummy, Dracula, to add that spice of gothic romance.
Right.
And so they just made him a psychopath monster. I didn't kill those women, but I am totally going to murder your brother for some weird reason. I don't want another dude around, and then I want you to be a werewolf. Even though you don't want to be a werewolf, it's okay. Also, you suck. I want you with me, but you suck.
And your life is terrible.
Your life is garbage.
Yeah,
and I'm all you have. So just immediately initiating just what would have been a spectacularly psychologically abusive relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she stabs him with a silver cake knife.
Yep.
He's like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll just choke you to death.
Uh-huh.
I'm out. I tried.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they wind up beheading him with a shovel, which is funny.
Which is delightful, yeah. You got to separate the heart from the head, Amber.
Got to separate that heart from that head. And he did tell them that was the way to end the curse, since Joni's death did not do it. It is such a tacked on weird ending. Just suddenly, it is interesting to kind of have, oh, he's not a great guy. He's a womanizer and he's going to kick her to the curb. Oh, no, he's not going to kick her to the curb. Oh, but he might be a werewolf and a murderer. Oh, he's not. That's cool. And it was Joni. The reasoning is disappointment, but still kind of cool. Oh, no, he is just shit. Oh.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up with
Another house is on fire. Oh, well, it burned out fast.
Yeah, I guess just the werewolf burns. Oh, well.
Werewolf burns real fast. Burns bright, burns hot, and then doesn't set the rest of the house on fire, which was convenient because...
Very convenient.
That shit's wrecked by the dog. Oh, fuck, Megan. The dog.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Will we know what happens to poor old Zipper?
I mean, Zipper comes back.
Yes, but who brings him back?
Oh, that's right. Oh, I'd forgotten that's what led to this. Brooke brings him back, Amber.
Ah, Brooke, Beau's girlfriend that he doesn't need anymore, so he...
But Beau's there, and
Beau had to be there because Brooke didn't know where Jimmy lived.
Yep, and Beau says he told her, and then it seems to insinuate that he told her everything, like that he's gay.
Mm-hmm.
Because Brooke then gives Jimmy back Zipper, and then they make out.
See, what happens in this scene, Megan, is I don't know if you understand how owning women works, but if you are done with a woman and you know another man you respect wants her, you present her to him as potential property.
Yeah, that was the feeling it had. Until
Megan.
Yes, Amber.
Megan. Okay. They make out. It's weird.
It's a weird, and because Beau's just standing there.
Beau's just standing, but he's smiling. He's standing there. He's sort of looking at it and looking away, looking at it and look away. Yeah.
Not that they had a good relationship because, Bo was a dick all the time.
Right up until he came out to Jimmy, and then he was amazing.
Yeah, right? Yes.
Well, I mean, you got to get Brooke home. It's after midnight. It's dark. Jimmy offers to walk her home, so they start walking away. Bo's still standing there, and then Jimmy says,
"Come on, Bo. Come with us."
He runs off to join them, Megan.
And it seemed to me, in my headcanon, they're now a throuple. They're all three together. They walk side by side home.
They were serving me some serious throuple energy. Come on. That walk home was negotiating and adjusting to a beautiful, exclusive, and supportive throuple.
I think so. I don't see any other reading of this.
I don't see any other reading of that either. It's going to be a beautiful romantic friendship and partnership. I was so excited for it. I was so excited to see Bo's transformation, how he really just like came into himself, in the role that Jimmy played with his just casual acceptance. And Brooke was also there.
Right. Yes. Also, Brooke had to be there for reasons,
You know what? I think Brooke has to be there to kind of ease Jimmy into the acceptance of that what he needs isn't so much Brooke as what he needs is Bo.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And Brooke is sort of the medium that allows them to be their best selves, because Brooke herself is nothing in this movie. Brooke is an object to be desired.
Yeah, she has no personality in this. Yeah. Which is, too bad.
I date a homophobic bully. Well, he doesn't want me anymore. I want Jimmy. Because Bo told me I want Jimmy.
Yep. And plus he had this weird Wolfian allure to him. At least he did. He used to.
It's gone now. But Bo tells me this is what I want. And I do what Bo says.
I do what Bo says. Amber, what would you rate this movie on the rock scale? Regrettable, outstanding, crazeballs, or K?
It's regrettable with a dash of crazeballs.
Yeah, it's regrettable mostly. K sometimes.
Yeah, there's K.
And with 2 outstanding moments. One of them kind of made up in our heads.
Yeah. One of them being headcanon.
Yeah. The acting wasn't bad.
They had good actors in this.
The story is a mess. Like it's a heap of mess.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Scenes are missing or illogical. Character motivations are bizarre. It's random pastiche of tropes.
Yeah.
And teenage angst moments.
Right. Yeah.
And then bloodless murders.
Right. And exactly. All of this was cut down to what could have been kind of a campy actual body horror movie that was rated R. A Wes Craven rated R movie was stripped of anything that made it even that, and is now a PG-13 nothing. So,
It was strange. I mean, but we have, Dawson's Creek, Joshua Jackson in it. We've got Shannon Elizabeth American Pie in it. We want the teens to come out for it. And if it's rated R, we'll be able to see it.
I guess.
So cut down on the gore in this werewolf
horror movie. Yeah, great.
Cool. Oh, cursed.
Yeah.
Megan.
Yes, Amber.
Do you have an Abby or Maddie story, apparently? Apparently I have to ask about both now.
So, this is half a story about Abby and half a story about Helen, who's Laurel's sister. Helen brought a book called This is a Book with No Pictures by B.J. Novak, who's from The Office. And this book has no pictures in it, but the whole idea is that it explains to the young reader that the deal with a book is that you have to say everything that's written in the book. Like, blork, and then you end up just saying like funny words, and you sing a little song that goes, glub, 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 my face is a bug. And anyway, it was funny to me, and it was hysterical to Abby. She laughed, just the entire time, and she has she had every adult in the house read it to her, and then I read it to her tonight for story time. Anyway, it's delightful, and it was really hilarious to see Abby laugh that long and hard at this very clever book.
That's delightful.
Mm-hmm.
Reading shouldn't be fun, though. Reading should be a terrible slog in learning to do a necessary skill. It should be a punishment and just something you feel bad about not doing very well. And I feel like that's the best way to learn.
Yeah, I think you're right, Ember.
I think every child should be forced to learn to read on Moby Dick.
Yeah, under duress.
Yes.
More white guy authors, please.
Just that one. Fucking Moby Dick.
Amber, do you have any recommendations?
Don't recommend Moby Dick. Tell you that much.
Okay, it's fair.
I didn't even read the book, and I still feel like I wasted my life having to pretend to read the book. That offends me. Let's see, it's October. I should come up with some thematic recommendations, but for now, I'm going to stick with something. This is a little thematic, called Over the Garden Wall.
Okay.
Now, if I'd thought about this beforehand, I might do a slightly better job of recommending this.
Mm-hmm.
So Over the Garden Wall stars the voice talents of such notables as Elijah Wood, John Cleese, Shirley Jones, Christopher Lloyd. It's an animated show, 10 episodes, 1 season, aired in 2014 on Cartoon Network. It's a little creepy. It's a little atmospheric. It's 2 brothers, one of them kind of neurotic and worried and fearful, and one younger and goofier and more open to experience, wind up climbing a wall and winding up lost in this mysterious sort of otherworldly land of, talking animals and witches. And it's, linear in its storytelling, but kind of each episode isn't necessarily a standalone, but it's sort of like another aspect of their journey to try and get home. It's really funny. It's a little creepy, a little tingly, and good storytelling. It's something I watched with my brother, and he really liked it, and he has, better taste than me. It's something that I would love to watch with you. I think you'd really enjoy it. It's up on HBO Max right now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of puts me in mind of like a little bit more gothic, kind of Gravity Falls or Adventure Time, but kind of a similar, or like the Infinity Train series, which I will also recommend at some point, as well as Gravity Falls, which I don't think I've recommended. God, have I even recommended Adventure Time yet? We need to update that list.
Yep.
So yeah, once again, I'm bad at making recommendations, but trust me, Over the Garden Wall, very good, animated, just 10 episodes. Give it a try. It's delightful. Megan, do you have a recommendation?
Yeah, so I recommend the book with no pictures by B.J. Novak, which I've already talked a little bit about. The other book that Helen brought was The Loud Book by Deborah Underwood, who's the author, and the illustrator is Renetta Luska. And it is probably a book for possibly smaller readers. That this one was for Maddie, and it talks about kind of the different kinds of loud, and has pictures. They're all like pictures of animals, but there's like a lot to see in these books. Apparently the Loud Book came out after the Quiet Book, which is kind of different types of quiet, and is very much a good book for like pre-nap time or pre-bedtime, because it's kind of like a talking about different kinds of quiet, kind of tends to make kiddos kind of go into that quieter space. So anyway, these are 2 really, really delightful kids books that I was introduced to by Helen. Thank you, Helen. And yeah, delightful.
Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 cartoon that I don't think I'd recommend to children, and 2 books that you would.
Yeah, absolutely. See,
although
you get it.
It's fine for children. I think it's still geared towards kids. And it's a mini series, so it's only supposed to be 10 episodes long. So expect a completed story.
Excellent.
Well, I guess we're done here. Megan, toodles, and I guess sleep good. Sleep good when you sleep. Have a good weekend this year.
Thank you, Amber. And just as we close out, I'll say what I always do, which is rock and roll ain't noise pollution.
I hate the fucking song titles. I feel like I hate the song titles worse than the terrible sayings or the quotes from The Rock himself, because don't nod sagely at me. The word ain't was in there. Rock and roll ain't noise pollution. You're not saying anything. You're just regurgitating nonsense that somebody else screamed at somebody with guitars and drums playing over it. Like, that's not good. What you're doing isn't good. What you're doing is mean and wrong. You are the Jake of this relationship, Megan. You're the Jake of this relationship. At first it seems fine. And then I'm like, I don't know though. Is she really doing a good job? Maybe this partnership should end. And then you show up and you might be a werewolf eating people. And I'm like, I'm fine with that. But then you pull this shit, Megan.
Yeah.
Then you try and kill my brother and choke me to death. You're going to get beheaded with a shovel, okay? Not a metaphorical one. This is the only way I know how to deal with Jake werewolves. If you're going to be a Jake werewolf, I'm going to have to behead you with a shovel. It's the only way.
A literal shovel.
An actual shovel, okay? That's where this path ends, Megan. So think long and hard before taking any more skippy steps down it. Good day to you.
Bye, Embers.
I said good day.
Bravo.